When I returned home on the night of the wedding anniversary, there was my husband and the figure of an unfamiliar, flashy-looking woman.
Let me introduce her. She's my girlfriend.
Huh? Seeing me speechless, the affair partner burst into laughter. Hey, this lady looks dumbfounded, and it's hilarious.
Hey, don't laugh. We're dropping a bomb on her on our wedding anniversary, and she's surprised.
The two of them, with vulgar smiles on their faces, I finally opened my mouth. So, what's the deal with that girlfriend of yours?
Get out of here. We'll be living here, me and her. You're useless here. Pack your things and be gone by tomorrow.
Why are you suddenly saying this? Do you think I'll agree to that?
Hey, haven't I said enough? I'm tired of seeing your gloomy face. Don't interfere with us, ugly.
At that moment, I heard a sound like something inside me had snapped. Yes, if that's how you're going to talk, then I won't hold back anymore.
Are you too shocked to even speak? It's understandable. Look at us. We're in love after all.
My husband hugged the shoulder of the woman with whom he was having an affair. The moment I saw that, I suddenly burst out laughing. After this, my foolish husband will have plenty of hell to pay. My name is Olivia, and I'm 35 years old. I'm married and born as the only daughter of the Smith family. My father ran a small company called Smith Industries, and we were relatively well off. My childhood was happy with a family-oriented father and a kind mother who was a homemaker. However, when I was in the 3rd grade, my mother fell ill. During the progressive illness, my mother passed away within 3 months of hospitalization. At that time, I mourned deeply together with my father. For both me and my father, my mother was an irreplaceable presence. Afterward, I lived with my father, supporting him. To support my father, I learned household chores. Though busy as a company president, my father always made sure to attend my school events and sports festivals. The two of us somehow managed to get by. Eventually, I graduated from college and started working as an executive secretary at a major company. Being a secretary was a demanding job, but it was fulfilling. I dedicated myself to work for several years. Before I knew it, even though I was approaching my late 20s, I didn't have a boyfriend. A colleague introduced me to a man, and that man later became my husband, Craig. Craig worked as a sales representative for a beverage company. From the beginning, he boldly approached me. For someone with little experience in romance like me, it seemed like he was a dependable and masculine presence. We started dating. A year and a half later, Craig made the long-awaited proposal.
Olivia, please marry me. I'll definitely make you happy.
Thanks, Craig. I'm glad. We decided to visit each other's parents and seek their approval for the marriage. After receiving support from the in-laws, the next step was to go to my father's place for the final approval.
Oh, so you're Craig, huh? I've heard about you from my daughter.
My father welcomed us with a happy expression. When Craig expressed his desire to marry me, my father nodded in satisfaction.
Of course. I support your marriage. Thank you, Dad.
Then the father brought up something unexpected.
Craig, don't you have any intention of joining our company? Huh? We were just looking for a salesperson. If you're interested, would you consider joining our company? I'd like you to work with us as the successor. Me? As the successor?
Craig's eyes sparkled with excitement. My father had always said,
"A president undergoes significant hardships, so I'd prefer to have a son-in-law take over if possible, rather than my daughter."
In response to such words from my father, Craig lowered his head.
"Dad, please. I appreciate it." "Is that so? If you're coming, I promise you a good position. I'll make sure you're well taken care of."
And so my marriage and Craig's employment were decided at the same time. Afterward, we had a wedding ceremony and started living in a house located between our workplaces. However, despite both of us working, Craig didn't contribute to household chores. He didn't throw trash in the bin, left clothes scattered, and didn't even bother to wash the dishes after eating. Initially, I did everything, attributing it to the honeymoon phase. But after a few months of such a lifestyle, stress began to build up. I finally spoke to my husband. "Craig, can't you help with the housework a little? We're both working, and it's not fair for me to do everything." Craig, lying on the sofa and looking at his phone, responded casually.
"Huh? Why can't you continue doing it like before, Olivia?"
"Huh?"
"Taking care of the house has always been the wife's job since ancient times. I'm tired from work."
"I work outside the home too." Craig frowned.
"Look, I'm working hard to take over after your old man. I'm exhausted every day because he keeps pushing me around. Don't I deserve some gratitude?"
"Of course, I'm grateful, but..."
"Then, show your gratitude toward your actions. Household chores are your responsibility. Don't tell me to help. Got it?"
And so Craig completely delegated the household chores to me. This kind of life continued for several years, and I had given up. I thought that as long as I endured, our marriage would be fine. Around the 4th year of our marriage, perhaps, Craig started claiming he was busy with work and began to be absent from home frequently. Days when he returned home drunk in the middle of the night increased. Considering his job in sales, it was inevitable that there would be many business dinners and drinking sessions. Thinking so, I didn't say anything in particular. It was a shock when he completely forgot my birthday. When I told Craig it was my birthday, he just laughed dismissively.
"Oh, really? Already 34, huh? You've become an old lady."
While hurt, I wondered if couples inevitably become like this after 5 years of marriage. I felt lonely inside. On one such day, Craig came home very late, completely drunk. He threw his belongings on the living room sofa and passed out. Watching him with exasperation, I picked up the scattered items. Then, Craig's phone slipped from his hand and fell with a thud on the floor. When I picked it up, I was astonished. There was a text message notification on his phone. "Craig, thanks again today. You were great again. So, I can't stand up yet. Let's meet again soon." The sender's name was Christina. Shaken but determined, I placed Craig's phone on the table. Does this mean what I think it does? Unbelievable. I have to investigate. So I decided to hire a detective to look into Craig. A few weeks later, on our 5th wedding anniversary, I finished work and opened the front door of our home. There were Craig's shoes and unfamiliar woman's heels. Confused, I raised my head, and I instantly froze. Craig and an unfamiliar woman were standing in front of me grinning. The woman had flashy hair, wore a miniskirt, and her cleavage was visible. She appeared to be in her mid to late 20s. Wait, what is this? Who is she? Trembling, I asked Craig.
Oh, you're finally home. Sit down. There's something important to discuss.
Saying that, Craig gestured for me to sit at the dining table. Craig and the woman sat side by side on the sofa. Explain properly. What is going on? In response to my question, he said,
Let me introduce you. She's Christina, my girlfriend.
Huh? Seeing me in shock, Christina burst out laughing. Seriously, this old lady is dumbfounded. It's hilarious.
Hey, don't laugh like that. We're dropping a bomb on her on our wedding anniversary, and she's surprised.
The two of them, with vulgar smiles on their faces, I finally found the strength to speak. So, what's the deal with this girlfriend of yours?
Get out of here. She and I will live here. You're no longer of any use to us. Just pack your bags and be gone tomorrow.
What are you suddenly talking about? Do you think I'll accept that?
Hey, don't I have to say this much before you get it? I'm tired of seeing your annoying face. Don't interfere with us, ugly.
At that moment, I heard a distinct sound of something breaking within myself. Yes, that's how you want to put it? Fine. I won't hold back either.
Shocked into silence, huh? Well, considering we're in love, it's understandable.
My husband hugged the shoulder of the woman with whom he was having an affair. The moment I saw that, I suddenly burst out laughing. Craig and Christina look at me with an eerie expression as I suddenly start laughing.
What's wrong with you? It's creepy.
Hey, what's up with this lady? I can't believe she suddenly started laughing. Did she go crazy from the shock? After laughing for a while, I wiped away the tears accumulating at the corners of my eyes and said, It's about time, isn't it?
Huh?
Just then, our home doorbell rang, and there stood my father. I had called my father immediately after inviting them into the house earlier. Hey, who's this old man? Christina's face was distorted. Then Craig hurriedly told her.
Dad, what happened all of a sudden? Craig, what on earth is going on?
Suddenly, Craig's eyes darted around nervously. We, father and I, stood side by side in front of Craig and Christina. Without hesitation, I addressed Craig's affair partner. Now, Christina, was it? First of all, where did you meet Craig? As I started the conversation, Christina answered while glaring at me. Craig visited the club where I worked. When you say club, do you mean a nightclub or something? Yeah, but what's the problem with that? No problem at all. So did you and Craig meet at the club and fall in love? Why were you attracted to Craig? As she said this, Christina looked at Craig with dreamy eyes. Because Craig is the next president, isn't he? There's no one more suitable for a promising future like him than me. At that point, I burst into laughter again. It was so funny that I couldn't stop laughing. Hey, old hag, what's so funny? The next president? How did you hear that? He tells me he's working to take over his parents' company. When you say parents, you mean my father, right? This man only joined my father's company as a son-in-law. What? Christina compared Craig's face to my father's, and then Craig, with a smug look, said this.
Oh, it's a fact that I'm the next successor.
Then my father responded with an exasperated tone.
After causing such a scandal, how do you think you can inherit the company? Huh?
Craig was the only one not grasping the situation. He had been planning to inherit the company despite cheating on me and telling me to get out. Realizing this, I was genuinely disgusted. My father only wanted to let you inherit the company because you're my husband. After betraying me, he's not going to announce the company now.
What? Wait a minute. That's a problem.
Then my father spoke.
For now, you're fired as of today. What? Fired? Why should I be fired from my company for something private? That would be an unfair dismissal.
Craig turned bright red and attacked me, but my father calmly told him off.
We did an internal investigation and found that you were skipping out on company business while you were out on your rounds. There are records on the dash cam showing you going to a motel. Were you meeting that woman during work? Ugh. Your sales performance was terrible, and your work attitude was terrible. Even so, I kept you around solely for my daughter's sake. However, even that sense of obligation is gone now. You're fired. Absolutely.
Craig, stunned by his father's words, faltered. Then, Christina raised her voice. Wait a minute. Does that mean Craig will be unemployed? That's right. My condolences. Craig, with a pale face, informed Christina.
Well, but it's okay, right? We have love. If you, Christina, support me until I find a new job...
Love, huh? As I said this mockingly, Craig glared sharply at me.
What's with you? Don't be jealous, ugly.
Here you go, a present from an ugly woman to you. I spread several photos on the table. The photos showed Christina holding hands with another young man on a date and entering a motel. Seeing this, Craig's eyes widened.
What's this?
Actually, a little while ago, I happened to see a text message from Christina on your smartphone. When I had the detective agency investigate, we found something interesting.
Detective agency? Hey, wait, is this for real?
While Craig stared at the photos as if he couldn't believe it, Christina turned pale beside him.
Hey, Christina, what does this mean? Were you with another man besides me?
Then Christina shouted, Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Don't let the unemployed talk to me!
Huh?
Who would bother with someone like you if you're not the heir and wealthy? Marrying into a family's company and getting fired on top of that? It's the worst! I was deceived!
What's that supposed to mean? You said you loved me, didn't you?
As the two of them started a heated argument, I intervened with a clap of my hands. Smiling at Craig and Christina, who were staring at me in astonishment, I calmly said, So, Christina, you only got close to Craig for the money, right? There was no love from the beginning, huh? Of course. Why should I have to go through this? I was deceived. To Christina, who was almost in tears, I coldly stated, Why pretend to be a victim? You willingly got involved with a married man, didn't you? You'll have to take responsibility for that, and I'll be taking a hefty $17,000 in compensation. Huh? $17,000 is impossible. Just show me something that proves your identity. As I asserted, Christina turned pale and took out her driver's license. I quickly noted down her address and real name. I'll send the documents later, so look forward to it. You can leave now. Christina grabbed her bag and dashed home, crying. Left behind, Craig was dumbfounded, muttering something.
This can't be. It's a lie. Christina betrayed me. She was only after money.
You seem to be in a lot of shock. Before anything else, don't you have something to say to us? When I inquired, Craig's expression changed to a startled one, and he crumbled on the spot.
I was wrong. I was deceived by an awful woman. I truly love only you. So please, let's go back to how things were.
As Craig said that and glanced at me, my father clicked his tongue.
How ridiculous. He passionately claimed to love Christina just a moment ago, And now, as soon as her infidelity was exposed, he completely flipped?
Taking a deep breath, I angrily confronted him. Who do you think will accept you back to the way you were? We're getting a divorce. We have evidence, so I'll make sure to collect a hefty alimony. Be prepared, you worthless man. As Craig shrank under the stern gaze of a fierce me and my father, he promptly fled from the scene. Later on, the divorce between Craig and me was finalized. I managed to secure all of our shared savings and a $20,000 alimony. Naturally, I also claimed alimony from Christina. When she pleaded that she couldn't pay, I threatened legal action, and she quickly transferred the money. True to my father's declaration, Craig was fired from the company. It seems he also broke up with Christina. Contributing to Christina without saving much, he resorted to borrowing money to pay the alimony owed to me. Now he has moved to a rundown apartment and works day and night to make ends meet. Craig has lost everything: the seat of the next company president, savings, and his partner. On the other hand, I apologized to my father for the trouble caused by Craig. In response, my father reconsidered his stance and said,
"Observing how you handled this situation, I thought you could take over the company. I strongly request you to consider it."
I am currently studying various aspects as the potential successor. I want to dedicate myself to my work from now on, while brightly carving out my own life.